Hello, Instagram. Hello, YouTube.
And 1, 2, 3.
Can you hear us?
Good. Can you hear us? Welcome. Welcome.
Gonna do TikTok videos. Okay, friends.
How's everyone doing?
Hello. Happy Tuesday.
All right, YouTube and Instagram. Welcome to our live.
We have a different set
Our
today.
setup is morphing and changing, so
We
let us know
kind
if you
of-
can see us / hear us.
I
What?
don't know if I really like the background. There's a lot of like blank space over there.
Right here. Okay,
That's
what should I
alright.
move? I can move. Here, let's move the drug guides.
We have a lot
There we
of
go.
books to move. Hi, Alicia.
There we go.
Welcome.
There's some drug guides. Can
All
you guys
right.
hear us?
Hi, Marge
See
Forjos.
us? Oh, good.
Hello.
Have a brain.
Sona.
There we go. That looks
Leo
pretty good.
8. This is fun. Okay. Today
All right.
in this video, we are going to talk about the top study mistakes that nursing students make. And it's going to be a good one. Like, I have several things to go through.
And while she is doing that, go ahead and pop in your other questions as well.
that looks good.
And let us see
What
what we can get to as well. Again, study mistakes topic wise or anything else nursing related wise. That's fine.
Yep.
And for those that don't know who we are,
I know.
who are we?
We're always so bad at introducing
Yes,
ourselves.
we're
We
bad
just
at
assume
intros.
that everybody who's watching knows who we are.
YouTube, can you hear us? See us? I can see you
Yes. Okay.
right up there.
I
There we
am
go.
Christina. I am a nurse. This is Matthew. He is not a nurse.
Hi,
These are
I'm
probably
Matthew,
the biggest
and
questions
I am
we
not a
get.
nurse.
That's funny. Yeah, everyone always asks you. Oh, and yes, we are married to each other. Just yeah.
Nikki, thumbs up. What does that thumbs
Hello.
up mean? Oh, yes, we can see
Oh,
you.
right,
Can you?
cool.
Is there
Hi,
any volume
Madison.
coming through?
Diashia, Peyton. Okay, yeah, this is tough. Maybe we should switch. Maybe we should put YouTube on that side.
Put YouTube on that side.
I think that'll
All
be
right.
better. Okay, we're
Okay.
trying to mimic our setup.
Let's see.
That we had before. If you were with us a year ago when we were doing this, so this is a lot of trial
Thank
and
you
error
for
here, my
being
friends.
patient
Yes.
with us while we reset
We're
this
still
up.
trying to work this out.
Let us know
Okay.
if it works for you guys. If you want to see different things in the background, we have a nice fancy brain here.
I really like
A
that
brain.
You see it in our YouTube
There you
videos,
go.
and it actually like comes apart and
Yeah.
it's actually like a model, which is pretty cool. Oh man.
All
Okay,
right.
let me start on the top study mistakes that nursing students make. Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
number
Sounds
one,
good.
the biggest one, and I was actually talking to a student. It's very controversial. Do not read everything in the textbook. I know someone out there in the interwebs land is going to get upset with me for saying don't read the textbook in nursing school. Now, I don't mean don't read the textbook, like don't read anything in the textbook. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't read everything in the textbook, because here's the problem. What I see a lot of nursing students doing is kind of like reading just for the sake of reading. Like they're reading the book just because they think they're supposed to read everything in the book because that's what all your instructors are telling you to do, right? Right? Like all of our nursing instructors, like that's all they say is like, read the textbook, read the textbook. Oh, okay. How to study? No, read the textbook. Oh, wait, what should I know for this? Read the textbook. You know, that's always the answer. Read the textbook. And while it can be helpful to read the textbook in some capacity, if that's all you're doing, you are going to be very ill prepared for your nursing school exam. That is not going to help you if that's all you are doing. So what I always recommend that nursing students do is read the sections of the book that your instructors talk about in class. So whatever you cover in class, that is what you should focus your reading time on. So let's say, if you're covering whatever topic in like let's say your nursing instructor goes over asthma in class, then that is the section of the book that you would want to to focus on, that you would want to read about asthma, read the pathophysiology, whatever, the signs and symptoms assessment interventions for asthma, because you covered that in class. Now you don't have to read about, random other facts about respiratory things if, you didn't cover it in class, because what you talk about in class is the most important things that your instructor believes are the most important things for you to know. And then those are the more likely to show up on your exams. Do you see how that works? So whatever your instructor is testing you on in class, talking about in class, is the most likely thing that you're going to be tested on when it comes to your nursing school exams. So focus on reading the sections of the book that your instructors talk about in class. Deal?
So Nick is saying, yes, it takes me forever and I feel like I don't get anything out of it. And that's the feeling that you hear a lot, and that you felt also a lot while you were going through nursing school. Absolutely. Is that the instructors always tell you, oh, read the whole book, read everything. Or you, being the studious person that you are, you wanted to jump ahead of it and say, I'm going to read these books before class started.
You should have seen my
I remember that.
book.
I remember that. And you did try for a while.
Post-it notes everywhere, notes all over the place, even before starting nursing school.
But
yep,
that is why we're here, so that you can learn from Christina's mistakes. Mistakes.
Learn from my mistakes.
The top study mistakes, if you will. So learn from her experience, and yes, definitely just focus on the things that your professor talks about in class.
And you hear it all the time. Yes. Like, I hear this all the time. Obviously, like, nursing instructors are going to tell you, read the textbook, read the textbook, read the textbook. I'm here telling you, yes, read the textbook, but focus on what they talk about in class. Don't just read for the sake of reading. Like, I think it makes us feel good, right? It feels like if we're reading a textbook, we feel like we're doing something, right? You feel like you're studying. You feel like you're actually doing something, even though it's a lot easier to just read a textbook rather than like critically think about it, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah. So the goal is to study more efficiently, study better, not necessarily harder, but definitely focus on the things that you need to focus on. So you can be more efficient and spend your time wisely.
Absolutely. Hi, Caitlin. Emmy, hello. Yeah. And Alicia, hello. I use a PowerPoint as a guide. That way I know what to read in the book.
Perfect.
That's exactly what we do here. Exactly right. I love it. It's almost like you have the nursing school study system, Alicia. There you go. I love it. Are the objectives always the best place to start? So, whatever your instructors talk about in class, whatever is in your modules, your objectives, whatever your instructors call it, they're going to give you different things like study aids, study guide. Like some might call it a study guide. Oftentimes they're called modules or objectives, like you said. So, anything that they give you, that is what you're going to want to focus on, because that's what they believe is the most important thing for you to know, right? And what your instructors believe is the most important thing for you to know is what is most likely to show up on your exams. That is how it works.
Sarah, I started reading fundamentals every chapter, and then it wasn't efficient. And 95% of the test was just what we talked about in class.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly the problem. So, yeah, but when you go to your instructors, right, oftentimes they'll just say, read the textbook. Not helpful.
Yeah, so, you get that a lot, or we get that a lot in our lives or through emails and things is, that's all our professor says. And I think, I don't know, there's just this assumption that I guess you can, or there's time, or obviously you want to know as much as possible at every single little thing. Yes. And so, barring life,
like
if you don't have a life, if you didn't have anything else to do and you just want to learn all about nursing and nothing else, and
all the things,
and you had the ability to do that, then for sure, I'll read it. You'll probably find some really fascinating things. But
read 8,000 pages. That's your prerogative.
But we want to be efficient. We want to actually go through the things that will be in your test, and we want you to succeed in nursing school. And this is the quickest, best, and most helpful way that you can do that.
Absolutely. Caitlin, thanks, Christina. This is why I love you. Mwah! happy to help. It is a struggle for real. Because Sarah, like you were saying on YouTube, you come into nursing school and you think that you have to know everything, right? So you want to read the entire textbook, you want to know all of the things about all of the things, and it's just not helpful because 95% of it, like you said, is not going to be on the test. So we want to make sure that we are studied efficiently because, yeah, I mean, if you didn't have a life, sure, you could read 8,000 pages, but we all have lives, right? We have lives outside of nursing school. We don't want to spend 24/7 studying and just, wasting time. We really want to study efficiently and effectively so that we can do other things, right? We don't want to have to be studying 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
what we want to do here.
And really the goal is to become the best nurse ever. And while it might be fun to learn every single little thing about every single little thing, that might not even help you be the best nurse that you can be.
It's not even possible.
Yeah, like Sampan. I like to read anatomy and physiology, but I want to remember everything. Is it possible to remember every single thing from cells to organs? Is it possible?
Yes, in a lifetime. I mean, ask any doctor. They don't know everything. Like, man, any of us, like, you're never going to know everything. Yeah. Of course.
So we have to be comfortable with getting as much knowledge as we can. And we want to focus on what knowledge is helpful for you guys. And that is getting through nursing school and becoming the best nurse.
Yes.
So
Zoe, fantastic point. So Zoe on YouTube, I'm taking my pharm course now, but there's no lecture and there's only PowerPoints that are outlines of the book. There's just so much information in the book. It's overwhelming. Okay. So if there's outlines of the book, focus on what is in those outlines. Okay. And then just forget everything else. You're not going to cover the entire textbook in your pharm course. So just focus on the things that are in those outlines in your modules. If you don't have lecture, so that is what I recommend. That's going on a lot right now, especially with everything, classes online and all that stuff. A lot of classes have moved away from kind of a more lecture style, like in class lecture, like class. So it's moving more toward like they give you PDFs online and like learning objectives and modules, and you just have to figure it all out yourself. I personally don't think that's super helpful, but that's what we have to deal with, right, in nursing school right now. So objectives, modules, read the sections of the book that they cover in those things. Does that make sense? So that is what I recommend for that. You're not going to cover the entire textbook. You can't. I mean, man, where's my pharmacology book? It's like that one.
There's this one.
It is ginormous. I mean, seriously, how much did I read out of that huge like pharmacology book? Like that much, maybe. And I passed nursing school. So you just got to find different ways to be creative with it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the wisdom that we're trying to help you with.
Definitely, again,
I found a lot of workarounds in nursing school. That is for sure.
Study smarter.
Study smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Study smarter, not harder.
But don't do what I did and don't and actually study.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Great.
Zoe, I'm glad that was helpful. Good. Yes.
Oh, perfect.
All right. So that is the first tip, reading everything in the textbook. Now I want to talk.
Or don't read everything.
Yeah.
The tip is
the tip is don't read everything in the textbook, but the mistake is reading everything in the textbook. See how that works? Okay. So don't read everything in the textbook. Okay. Focus on reading the sections of the book that your instructors talk about in class. That is the takeaway. There you go. Okay. Now, kind of kitty corner to that, adjacent to that is critically thinking. So here's the problem. If you are spending all of your time right now reading the textbook just for the sake of reading the textbook, you are not going to be giving yourself enough time to be thinking about it. Okay. So this is kind of what I was saying before. I feel like a lot of nursing students, me included, a lot of us, it's easy to read, right? It's easy to read a textbook, not really have to think much about it. It's like you feel like you're doing something. And as long as I'm doing something, I'm studying well, right? Not true. So if you are just reading for the sake of reading, it's not very helpful for you because you're not going to give yourself enough time to critically think through the information that you need to know. And who of you out there on Instagram and YouTube have taken a nursing school exam yet?
Oh, yes. That's a great question. Who has taken a test and or whose test is, let's say, within the next week?
Next week. So that would be like this week or next week.
Yes.
Yeah. So who has a test coming up this week or next week? And who has already taken a nursing school exam? Have you taken a nursing school exam yet? Okay, so Emmy has, Marge for Joe's. Am I saying that right? Mar for Joe's. I hope I am. And then Emmy, Emmy. I cannot. Okay, I think I need new glasses. Seriously. I was talking to my mom about this today. She just got new glasses and she's so happy because she could see like far. I can't. I feel like I'm still really small. Blind.
Let's see on YouTube. Took MH Day, mental health. I'm assuming. Or I don't know, not a nurse again, but is there another acronym for MH? I don't know.
Mental health is what I'm coming up with. Yeah.
Test tomorrow. All right, cool. Exam on Thursday in my last semester. Yay, congrats.
Awesome. Health assessment, midterm last week, final.
First fundamentals on Monday.
Final this week. Hang on. It's like January.
They're all finals.
How do you have
a
final in January? I'm sorry. How many finals do you have?
Just had my first exam yesterday. Hooray!
Yay. Pharm exam next week. Is that okay? Is it 2 L's? See, I can't see you guys. I'm like, it's the text is too small. Just took my first exam, Tiana. Kinney, I'm just confused. Midterm last week. Final this week. That sounds like it's very close together.
I've been really confused because some people call like all their tests midterms because it's in the middle of the term, and that really just confused me. So
okay,
whatever.
My understanding of a midterm is like
halfway, right?
It's halfway. Yeah. Like you have your exams. And then, so like, let's say you're in a semester, right? Which is like traditionally 16 weeks. So you have like your exam every week, and then you have a midterm, like what, week 8 or 9. And then you have a final on week 16 or week 17 or whatever. That's my understanding.
Yeah, that was my understanding. But like, I've heard people just call midterms like all their tests are
It's
midterms,
a 4-week class. That sounds
okay.
Very scary.
Wow.
To have to learn pharmacology in 4 weeks, that doesn't sound appropriate at all. Oh man. But I know like some accelerated programs, that's how it is. Actually, I did take some 4-week courses in the prereqs. My like 4 and 6 week classes, and like they were like half a quarter. Yeah, do you remember that? I don't know. That was my prereqs. I'm like, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna like knock it out in 4 or 6 weeks. All right.
That's tough, but congrats to absorb that information. Yeah, so that's why 4 weeks. That's why we want to make sure that you're studying the best way possible and most efficiently.
Absolutely.
All right. So.
Yep. So
critical thinking.
If you have taken an exam, which all of you have.
Look at this. Yep.
I love it. You know that nursing school exams test you on critical thinking. Do they test you on memorization? No. They test you on critical thinking. So you have to give yourself enough time to critically think through the information before you walk into your nursing school exam. You do not want to wait until you go and take your exam to start critical thinking. That is not helpful. So you want to make sure that you are practicing your critical thinking skills, how to critically think, and critically thinking through all the information first before you walk into your exam. So then there's the problem, right? Therein lies the problem with reading everything in the textbook. If you are just spending all of your time reading just for the sake of reading, it is not going to be helpful for you. You have to allow yourself enough time to critically think, give yourself enough time to process the information, see how everything connects together, and then you will be much more prepared for your exam if you do that rather than, just reading everything in the textbook just because. Does that make sense? So critical thinking, focus on connecting concepts together. If you have the nursing school study system, actually, we talked about this a couple days ago on the live. Let me find the page. It starts on page 15. I know several of you already have the nursing school study system. So you'll want to flip to page 15, and it's through page 17. Actually, never mind. Through page 19. 15 through 19, we talk about critical thinking. And I just lied again. It's actually through 21. So I walk you through really in depth, like examples and everything, how to critically think in the nursing school study system. We walk you through what critical thinking is, what it means in nursing school. I walk you through 9 key critical thinking questions to ask yourself as you are studying. And I walk you through our DRC critical thinking model. So what you can actually use and fill in as you study to help bring all the concepts together, okay? So let's just walk through that really quick, the DRC critical thinking model, because I think it'll be really helpful for you this week as you study. So if you have the study system, it's on page 19. Okay, so if you're a Nursing SOS member, this is in the membership community for you to download. So just log into your dashboard. If you're a Nursing SOS member, log into your dashboard, click on study system, and it's on page 19 for you. So how to critically think. So you'll walk through DRC, definition or description. So whatever you are learning about in nursing school, just write high level. What is the definition or description of what you are learning? Okay. So, whatever it is, it's just very high level. What's the definition? What's the description? Then you're going to go to R, which is reason or rationale. This is like the why. Why does it happen? Why does it matter? So for a med surg disorder, what you would write for like the R would mostly be pathophysiology. Why does it happen? Okay. What is going on in the body? Why does this matter for a patient? If it's a nursing intervention, why do we do it? If it's a medication, why do we give it? So the R is reason or rationale. That's the why. Okay. And then the C, so again, we're on page 19 of the study system. The C is connection. Now, this is really where you get into the nitty-gritty of critical thinking. This is connecting the dots. So you are going to connect whatever concept you're learning about to all of the other concepts that you're learning about, right? That is critical thinking, connecting it all together. So let's say you have, you're learning about, let's say hypertension, and then you want to connect what you were learning about hypertension to, something else you might be learning about in nursing school. Let's say it's cardiac, so heart failure, right? So connect those things together. Like what meds would you give? What interventions would you do? What would you assess for both those disorders? How do those disorders kind of play together in the body? Okay, so those are the questions that you need to be thinking through. And when you do that, when you do this process, the DRC critical thinking model, when you follow these steps, you are going to be so much more prepared for your nursing school exam than you would have been if you had just read the textbook just for the sake of reading the textbook. Does that make sense? Hooray!
Yeah, so I think also just another way of summing it up is just really get yourself thinking about, it's really the connecting the dots, but get yourself thinking, quote unquote, out of the box. Like you're given a list of, okay, these are the signs and symptoms, but why? Get at the why. Why does this cause that? And just kind of work through it outside of the box in your mind, or even out loud or whatever. Just kind of work through that on your own, or talk with classmates and things, and just try and take all the topics that you're talking about and connect them all together. And just really focus on really dissecting all that information. And the more that you deal with all your information and try and flip things on their sides and just coming at it the different ways, just the more you'll remember that those things. And also it helps you, again, think outside of your box, And when test questions come up or scenarios come out that don't exactly align with what it said in the textbook or don't exactly align with exactly the list of signs and symptoms or interventions or whatever, you'll be able to use your critical thinking and kind of solve for those problems anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like how you said like coming at it from like different angles, right? Like that's exactly what we do with critical thinking is you want to connect it together, think about it in different ways because, right, like we said, your nursing school exams are not going to test you on how well you just memorize a list of things. That is not what your nursing school exams test you on, right? They're going to test you on how well you critically think. Okay. So that DRC critical thinking model is really going to help you as you study. Okay. So follow that DRC. We also, we have some YouTube videos on that as well. So if you go to YouTube, just search nursing SOS critical thinking. So go to YouTube, Google would even work too. So go to Google, go to YouTube, and then just search nursing SOS critical thinking. You'll find the videos there. Solid plan. Solid plan.
Awesome.
Okay. So,
and by the way, just a tangent. Yes, I am seeing the questions that are popping up both on Instagram and on YouTube. I am capturing it down. We're getting through as much of these study mistakes that we can get through, and then hopefully we can hit some of these questions. But if not, I am keeping track of them and will be doing a lot more lives. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the bell, so that you don't miss these lives, and we'll definitely be discussing more of your questions. I see some questions about NCLEX. We jammed on NCLEX I think a couple days ago, but we'll definitely do more lives on the NCLEX, and just in general, like any tips on the NCLEX testing. I mean, everything that we just talked about with critical thinking applies to that too. So go ahead, and if you haven't yet subscribed, hit the bell, and we'll be taking your questions, and I am keeping track of the questions as well.
Yeah, Matthew does a really good job of like so he writes the questions down for us to remember for after, because it scrolls so fast. Like on Instagram, it's so interesting because we can see like who's joining and everything too, and then we see questions. So it's like I just keep scrolling and it's kind of hard to keep track. So Matthew keeps track of all that. So don't worry. We did not lose your question.
We'll just answer Will's question. I'm assuming your name's Will. Will they be putting fill in the blanks on the NCLEX?
I don't know.
NCLEX is being updated.
I don't know. I know it's being updated. I need to look into what they're exactly changing the testing format to, because they are changing it slightly. It's going to be more case scenario based. So that is something that we are going to talk about probably this week, maybe next week. Because I have kind of a schedule set on I think it might be next week. So Will Bemp, make sure you watch out for a live probably next week, and we can jam more on the new NCLEX.
Yeah. Okay? So again, follow us.
Drag and drop. Research. Drag and drop. They're adding that. Yes.
Okay,
so you're right. I don't know about fill in the blank though. I think it's what I haven't heard fill in the blank. The drag and drop for sure.
Case scenario based. Yes, we've heard that as well.
Yep. Definitely case scenario based. Yeah. Yes. Matching questions. Yes. All that. But I fill in the blank sounds a little bit of a stretch to me. But I don't know. So we're going to talk about it. Well, I'm going to say next week, because we do have several other topics that I want to cover this week.
All right.
So just keep it in your mind.
Yes.
And come watch out on Instagram and YouTube for the lives. So yes. All right. So the next study mistake that I want to talk about that is huge is learning medications individually. So if you guys have been around for a while, you know that I have a very simple step-by-step process for studying pharmacology. Especially if you're a Nursing SOS member, you have access to the full system for how to study pharmacology. You have access to our full medication database. Inside the Nursing SOS membership community, we walk you through all the medications that you need to know for nursing school. We give you the key points you need to know about them, all the really we give you the information that you need to know and nothing more. So you're not going to like waste your time watching a 30-minute video or sitting in a 3-hour lecture about pharmacology, because we teach you exactly what you need to know so that you can have a life in nursing school, right? So again, study smarter, not harder. So if you're a Nursing SOS member, check out the pharmacology course, check out the medication database inside of there, because we walk you through your medications, okay? So that is helpful for you. Do not memorize your medications individually. You have to break them up by class. Okay. Pharmacologic is better. That's preferred, but you can also break them up via therapeutic class. So what I mean by class is that the medications medications are grouped in a particular way. They're grouped by their mechanism of action, meaning how do they act in the body? What do these medications do? So you've all heard probably of beta blockers, right? Metoprolol, atenolol, the olols, right? Those are beta blockers, and beta blockers is the pharmacologic class. Now, all those medications in that class act the same way in the body, which makes it so beautiful and fantastic because they act the same way in the body. You can just learn about the group of medications rather than learning them individually. You don't have to waste your time learning a dozen beta blockers when you just have to learn about beta blockers as a class, as a group of medications. Does that make sense? So break up your medications by pharmacologic class, that's preferred, or therapeutic class. Either is fine, but just try to learn your meds by class rather than individually, because I mean, it's like literally cutting your work into a third or a quarter. Like, you do not have to waste all of your time learning them individually when you just do a quarter of the work, right? That's what we're here for.
So Judith,
I want you to have a life
on
in
you
nursing
too.
school.
My first pharmacology exam is on Friday, so this is especially for you. So yes, basically focus on classes and how to group up the meds into classes, because all the classes work roughly the same way, or all the meds in class work roughly the same way. So that will just help you a lot in grouping and memorizing chunks of meds instead of one by one.
Yes. Then you can learn the mechanism of action of the class, learn the side effects that are common to that class, the nursing assessment. So what will you assess for with a patient taking that medication for that class? And then, the interventions that you would do for it, patient education, considerations, all that just for the class. Then it will extend to all of the medications that are in that class. So helpful. Yep, absolutely.
Very cool.
Now, the next study mistake that I want to cover is listening to the rumor mill in nursing school. Who out there has heard a nursing school rumor or two?
The rumor mill.
The rumor mill. Oh, and like, what rumors have you heard too? I've heard some crazy ones from nursing students. So, like common ones are like, oh, this class is so hard. Like everyone says, right? Well, everyone says like med surge, whatever is super hard. Like whatever it is for your program, right? Could be med surge 1, could be med surge 4, could be, but usually it's med surge. Everyone says that med surge is the worst.
No one's ever passed this class ever before in their lives.
Yes, like that. That is one of them. No one ever passes nursing
that's
school.
Like statistically improbable.
Impossible, because there's
like
nurses all over the place. Yeah. So, nursing school rumors, don't listen to the rumor mill. And here's why. Here's why too. Your strength might be someone else's weakness, and your weakness might be someone else's strength. Okay. So when someone tells you this class is the worst, or this instructor is so hard, like, okay, don't listen. Don't listen to it, because their weakness might be your strength. And then in reverse, your strength might be their weakness. That was not the reverse.
you might be able to help other people, and other people might be able to help you. So yeah, I mean,
oh man,
I guess in general, I think that what you're talking about too is like just that negative attitude and getting dragged down by these negative opinions and just this negative feeling about being in nursing school or whatever, having a bad day, bad year, bad couple of years. You know, it's just, it's fine. But it's fine that people have these opinions, but don't get bogged down in it, and definitely don't let it affect how you're studying and how you think about the classes, because like Christina said, some people might think it's really, really hard, but you might find that you're gifted at it.
Absolutely.
And again, don't also just turn around and like shove it in people's faces, but you help other people too. So
for sure.
And on the flip side, if people are saying, oh, this is a breeze, and you feel like you're struggling at it, don't let that get you down either, and just ask for help or get a study group together and help each other out.
That's exactly what we do in nursing school. We help each other out. Yes, nursing school is not a competition. Help each other out. So yes, see, I tried to do the reverse and it did not work. So yeah, just don't listen to the rumor mill, because you never know. You never know. Okay, so we were told oftentimes that some nursing instructors were harder, or they were whatever. And I rarely found it to be true. At least for me, like I really liked them. I didn't think it was that hard. So just don't listen for it. This is also why I say when you go take a nursing school exam, to show up right on time or slightly late, because you don't want to be sitting outside the exam room in the like stress and anxiety with everyone else. Right. So before an exam, everyone is going to be hanging out outside the exam room normally, if you're, going to an exam room and not doing it online. But show up right on time or slightly late so that you don't talk to anybody before your exam, because you don't want that like negativity, right? You don't want to go into your exam anxious or stressed just because everyone else is anxious or stressed.
I mean, it's yeah, you don't need any unneeded stress. And sometimes if you're just waiting around for an exam to begin and you just start overhearing other people talk about stuff, and that definitely can happen, where like you get in your own head or you get in your own mind and just kind of throws off your game. So yeah,
you definitely don't listen to it, because it's all going to be different for everyone. Your experience and someone else's experience is going to be different. So it's not a big deal. Just don't let the rumor mill get you down. Okay. Solid. Cool. All right. Do we have some questions we should go through?
Let me see here.
And we'll probably group some. I know there's a lot of NCLEX questions, like people talking about how to pass the NCLEX, what the new NCLEX is going to be. And we're going to do a whole live on that. I really want to dive into that, like a lot. So that will, I think, be next week. Because what day is it now? Today's Tuesday. So probably next week we will cover NCLEX stuff. Okay. Sound good?
Sounds good. Funny question from Tina. Do we have any podcasts? Do you have podcasts we can listen to? So are you saying what are our recommendations, or do we actually have a podcast that we put on? I know we've talked about it, but no, currently we do not have any podcasts. The closest you get are these lives. So be sure to
our
subscribe,
YouTube channel.
And our YouTube channel.
And I try to get on Instagram stories every day.
Oh, yes.
And I love TikTok. Does that make me terrible? I love TikTok. I think it's hilarious. Man, I gotta love it.
So be sure to follow Christina on all the things,
all
TikTok, Instagram, and definitely YouTube. And we do not have a podcast, but we'll join and hang out on these lives for sure.
Yep. Yeah, and inside, of course, like we have our YouTube channel, but inside the Nursing SOS membership community, I know you guys, a lot of you on here are members. Like we said, actually, if you're a Nursing SOS member, be sure to log in and get the study system. You can download it. It's inside the community for you. Okay. So don't go buy it on our website or anything, because if you're a member, you already have this. Okay, the nursing school study system. So use it. And like in the membership community, we have a ton more videos. So if you're a member, obviously, go check those out. You already know about it, but there you go. Yes, but podcast, I always thought it would be fun, but we do not have a podcast as of yet. Would you like one?
Would you like one? Yeah.
Raise your hand.
How would that help you guys?
Want a podcast? Like, who do you guys listen to podcasts? I mean, would that be helpful? And what would you want us to talk about on a podcast?
Life. Just talk about life.
Just life. You know, there are, yeah, I mean, I know podcasting is really, really big. It's just, I don't know exactly what I would say. I like video.
We like talking to you guys here, and you can see us, and we can't see you, but we like to pretend.
So I know a lot of people have asked us this question. So people are saying yes on Instagram and on YouTube. So, but like, what would you like us to talk about on a podcast? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, this, like, I love live video because it's like interacting, you know, with you. It's like we're in the same room. I think it's awesome doing live. Can you have a live podcast?
I don't know. There's
like a call-in show
like
or
a
something.
Call-in.
I know. Yeah, like where I hear your voice. Yeah, that could be super fun. But like I like live video and then like YouTube too, because I don't know. It's just like more interactive, I guess. You can't comment on a podcast, really, can you? I don't know. Reviews?
Maybe we'll look into it. Yeah, there's definitely reviews and things. So I don't know. It's definitely another avenue that we might be able to help people out with, but we'll need to discuss it, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys want a podcast, I guess we'll make you a podcast.
Let's see. We're talking about just looking at all these things coming through, these questions, and I want to kind of stick to our kind of general theme or topic of just studying and study tips. Someone asked about leadership study tips. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by leadership, like a leadership class, or are you trying to lead your group members? What do you mean by leadership study tips? And then remembering content. That's a good one.
Yeah. Hey, Terry. I meant to say hi.
Terry's.
Hi, Terry.
Are there any tips on just helping remember content?
Yeah, I think really the biggest thing that helped me, Terry, is a repetition in any capacity. So repetition, like we talked a couple days ago on the previous live, like whiteboards and flashcards really helped me to bring the concepts together, write them out again and again and again, just repetition. And then the same thing, if you're a Nursing SOS member, anyone out there, the DRC critical thinking model, and then the 9 key critical thinking questions. So the study system, you've got this inside the Nursing SOS membership community. So it's on page, 15 through 17. So make sure you walk through that. And the more you do that, the more you walk through these key critical thinking questions, the more you walk through the DRC critical thinking model, the better off you're going to be. I did not mention actually that if you are not a Nursing SOS member, you can still buy this. It's on our site. If you go to nursingschoolofsuccess.com/study system, you can get this. But it is inside the Nursing SOS membership community for our members for free. So there you go. nursingschoolofsuccess.com/study system.
I put it in the description in YouTube, I believe.
Yes.
So,
and sorry, everyone, we have a baby that is crying, and I need to go solve that. So,
all right. Well, thanks for joining us.
That's how it goes. Someone asked earlier how the baby is, and baby's doing so good.
Well, they're crying,
but doing so good. So thank you for asking.
All right, you can run off. I'll wrap up here.
Okay. Thanks.
All right,
I'll
just wrap up here. There's just a couple things that I'll need to wrap up on. Sarah, yes, membership is closed right now, but if you go to nursing-school-of-success.com/join, you can join the wait list and be notified when it does open up and get in on that as soon as it does. We do tend to open it a couple times a year, and we close it so that we can focus on getting new content in there. I was just working today on getting Peds stuff in there, or more Peds things in there. So yes, if you're interested in the membership, definitely join the wait list. Yes. Let's see what else. Oh, Will on Instagram, you were asking about the pharmacology tips that we have. Definitely go ahead and look back at this live. The replay will be up, but basically group all the meds into classes. There's pharmacological classes that meds get grouped up into, and they all kind of act the same way. So instead of having to remember all of the meds and how all of the meds work, if you can group them into pharmacological classes, that will help you a lot. For a more detailed explanation, watch through this live. I am capturing all these other questions that we weren't able to get to, but we are going live a lot more often if you guys want us to, and we're going to be capturing and answering more of these questions. So definitely hit subscribe, hit the bell, and keep following us, and we'll get to more of your questions. I know that we didn't get too much NCLEX, but we will do that once we do a little bit of research on the new NCLEX coming up. We'll let you guys know what's happening. And I think that is it for now. If you guys have any other comments, go ahead and pop them down below. If not, we will see you next time. All right? Okay. Take care, guys. I'll catch you later. Let's see. Where do I go? End and Instagram. We will talk to you guys later. Bye.